Our next session with Mr. Ben Weeks, Senior Architect and Principal Engineer of Agora. He's mic'd up, he's ready to go. This is the Developer Toolkit track right here. He's going to talk real-time voice and video in games and VR. Nice to meet you, mate.
Thank you.
Click it here if you require it.
Yeah, dude, which one to move forward and back?
Big green one for go, and red one for back. Best of luck.
Brilliant. Hi, everybody. I'm Ben from Agora. It's great to be here, and thanks for coming. I'm going to show you some pretty cool stuff, so you won't be disappointed. Can you all hear me okay? Excellent. So, Agora puts real-time voice, video, and messaging into games and apps. And by real-time, we mean live. So here's a little example. People playing poker can see the person that they're playing with, and anywhere in the world, very close to zero latency. And that works for voice, video, and also messaging, whether it's text messaging or the apps messaging between each other. And I'm going to show you some really cool use cases of putting video into 2D games and 3D games. Just quickly about Agora. Even though not many people have heard of us, we're a publicly listed company on the NASDAQ. We have 1,100 employees. Most of those are technical programmers like me. And we do 60+ billion voice and video minutes per month. We power many companies, some massive social networks. They don't publicly state that they use Agora for sort of privacy and competition reasons, but lots of companies, big companies that you'd have heard of, and games are using Agora in the background for their voice and video. In the App Store today, we have 244 Android games using Agora, 269 iOS, and there's a few of the titles. We provide SDKs, which are easy to put into your apps or games. People like me help you integrate them, so within a day or two, you can have the features in your own product. And I'll quickly run through some use cases now. So this is 2D examples, people being able to see each other in a multiplayer game. It adds stickiness and increases revenue by being able to do that. That's a pretty obvious use case. Works just as well on mobile, in a web browser, or in an app, as it does on a desktop. And we're able to scale to 1 million people in a single room. That's massive, right? Most people would have a conference limit, say Zoom, of 64, 128. With Agora, it's unlimited because of the design. And I'll quickly explain how we do this at the end. Another use case is having like a fan wall where you can watch people competing and see their statistics. This brings more people into your ecosystem and provides more excitement and competition around your actual games. And this would easily stick into a single little mobile. Our SDKs in your app would allow you to be able to do this very quickly. We can also push the content out to Twitch, YouTube Live, etc., so people can watch the games being played, click on a link, and come and join in. Now moving on to some 3D use cases. Quickly, audio. So with audio, you could be moving around inside a 3D world, and as you get close to different audio sources, they get louder, quieter. As you rotate in, say, a metaverse or 3D environment, you get the full 360 effect of where the audio is coming from. And again, you can have up to 1 million people all moving around, getting close to each other, getting louder and quieter. So here's a little video demo now of using video in a game. This is called Volumetric video, and this is a recording, an augmented reality recording that I did on my iPhone in my bedroom. So this is me just looking through my iPhone, and this volumetric video is being streamed in live from the Agora network, and I'm able to move around it, and as you can see, it casts shadows on the 3D environment. I'm going to open a drawer in a minute, and it'll cast a shadow. But this video isn't just 2D video, it's 3D. It's captured using photogrammetry, which can be done live or pre-recorded, and allows people to be beamed into your 3D environments. So this is quite a cool use case. Moving on, I'll just play this. So this is a 3D world or game created in Unreal Engine, and here's me down the end here. I was recorded for this statically in front of a green screen, And this is just a 2D video, but it's wrapped on a cylinder, so you can still move around it, and it gets a feeling of having three-dimensional video from somebody just standing in front of a green screen, being able to be broadcast live into your apps and games. That same person using the Agora network could appear in everyone's apps and games with close to zero latency. So you say something in China, everyone across the world hears you talking right here, right now. So you could introduce something at the beginning of your games if it's a multi-party type of thing. This is something else. So this is like a little metaverse or 3D web VR demo. And all these people here are just sitting at home in front of their laptops. But using, I'll press play. But using AI, it removes their background, streams them over the Agora network with a green screen put in, and then the green becomes transparent in the environment that they're landing in. Now, this is something that I've started working on. Some people think this is cool. Some people can see that there's certain flaws in this. For example, the lighting doesn't really suit the environment. And this is something that we're working on at the moment. I've got some demos of that to be able to, using the GPU of the computer to change the color of the lighting so that the people, even though they're not in that environment, they get lit using the GPU to look like they are. And this is like a 3D web VR environment. But our SDKs work in native, iOS, Android, Linux, everywhere. This is another similar sort of demo. This is built using a collaboration between Mozilla Firefox, Agora, and Truliance. So we got some quite, that Elon there, he's a digital human being rendered and generated in the cloud. Oops, I need to press play. Oh, sorry. Can I go back to that? The red one. Oh, yeah. Oh. This is supposed to be a video, but it's not playing. But just to quickly tell you, this is a Mozilla Hubs, which is a metaverse platform. People being streamed in, but also on the right there is a digital human, Elon, kind of like a deep fake technology where he gets rendered in the cloud and broadcast into the environment as well, much like a real person. And because these are all arriving as video calls, effectively, the device can handle it, it can render it. So you don't need to be downloading really expensive assets. It's just like connecting to a Zoom call. And all of these video streams, they can come in, and the devices have hardware H.264 decoders, so they can really easily handle this highly complicated photorealistic video being beamed into simple little mobile phones without having to download anything beforehand. It's like instant access. And I can provide you with access to this stuff, links so that you can try this out yourself on any device later. Here's another use case of video. So instead of my face being beamed in, the landmarks of my face are being captured, and I'm actually controlling my perhaps NFT avatar in a game world. So rather than my video appearing on your phone, he would be there, or this little character would be there, but it would be my voice coupled with the emotions, the behavior, the expressions, all mapped onto this little dude. And this is another great way to bring real kind of feeling and empathy and stickiness and excitement to your own apps. And I honestly can, whatever apps you've got at the moment, I can help you put this stuff in, whether it's a proof of concept, something you want to add to your roadmap for next year, the year after. People like me will help you do that for free. And we give 10,000 free minutes of voice and video to any developer every month. So you wouldn't have to pay a penny to start adding some of this cool stuff to your apps tomorrow. And that's my demos. What I want to explain to you now is how Agora is able to move packets across the internet at twice the speed of the internet itself. So when you're using, say, Google Meet or FaceTime, the latency is on average twice what it is with Agora. And how's that even possible? What can Agora do to the public internet that everyone else can't do? And this is really cool stuff, and I'm going to explain it nice and easily. So this is a demo that I did of a colleague in India. On the left, he's just using what's called Webrtc Peer-to-Peer, so over the public internet, direct line. On the right, we're both connected into an Agora channel.
One more time, put it up to
when
the
I
middle
press
position
play,
still.
You'll see that Agora is almost a second quicker to get the packets from India to the UK.
Brilliant.
How is that possible? What's
do
Agora
that
doing
one
to
more
make
time.
those packets
It's
go
really good.
quicker? And it took me a while to understand this and figure this out, but basically what happens is, whenever we connect to the internet, we're using different ISPs and companies to connect. So this is us all at home, and the little yellow ones at the bottom. I'm connected to BT, you might be connected to Horizon. The way that all of those different ISPs communicate with each other is through least cost routing, and they're all in competition with each other. So the packets tend to flow over the internet the cheapest possible route. And what happens, and this is for real, taken from a Thousand Eyes independent report, when you send packets from Mexico to Washington, they actually go via Russia because it's cheaper for them to do that. And that's congested, it takes longer. You have higher packet loss, so you get bigger latency. The quality goes straight downhill. With Agora, we have servers in every tier 2 ISP around the world. So 250 data centers, we are able to reroute packets rather than following the cheapest routes across the internet. We're able to reroute them. So this typical thing that I showed you between India and London, instead of it going the other way around the world, because there's no direct connection, I'll just show you here, this is from the Thousand Eyes, there's no direct connection from Europe to India if you're using GCP, Google Cloud backbone. So if your ISP is using Google to get from there to there, you will actually be sending your packets the other way around the world. But because Agora has presence in the data centers here, here, and here, it can move them between the different tier 2 providers and route them that way. And it doesn't just send them over one path, it sends them over 3 different paths, so you get 0 packet loss. And this is using AI continually to look for the best routes. And because of the way that we're able to scale this up, this is how we can have 1 million people in a single conference. We don't have like a typical conferencing architecture where all your voice and video goes into one server and back out again. This is routing everything between everybody over the shortest possible route. And the thing grows and scales, so you have next to 0 latency between anywhere, including China and South America, to have your apps and your people in perfect, close to 0 latency and voice and video. And that's pretty much it. Here's a little summary of the things that Agora does. I would love to work with you all. That's my job, is to help other developers integrate our products into your apps and games, and to bring some of the greatest exciting features to what you're working on.
That's fantastic stuff. Do we have any questions? Yeah, I'd like to ask, in brief, how many steps, how easy is it for these guys to put that kind of video tech into their games?
So we provide a software development kit on all the different platforms. You join a channel or a room, and then you get events when other people are there publishing audio, and then you publish and subscribe. So it's about 10 to 12 lines of code. Someone like me will sit down in a session with your developers and actually do it with you, hold your hands. So I'd like to say within a day or 2, you could be having this functionality in whatever apps or games, whether it's web games, native iOS, Android, etc. We can add that with you very quickly.
Fantastic, fantastic. Question right here.
Hello. Do you have any problems with the GDPR?
Well, I can't hear anything.
Okay. Do you have any problems with GDPR?
Sorry? No, well, that's a good question. Germany are particularly, the only data that we capture are IP addresses. And Germany don't even feel that an IP address is something which can reveal something. But we have geofencing, so we can limit all of the traffic to particular regions. But when you have a global game, there are certain situations where your IP addresses will be shared outside of those regions. But we work in different verticals like medical, banking, etc., and have solutions for all that type of thing.
Fantastic. Any more for any more? All good. That was amazing. Give it up for Ben. That was great. Fantastic demos.
Thank you, guys.
Very impressive stuff. Thank you for that. The guys will remove the mics.